Hello, welcome to One to the Force of Star Wars podcast. My name's Phill, of course, and you're watching Star Wars, specifically Episode 1. This, of course, is a brand new series where I'm going to be going through looking at the comics and the books and some of the audio as well of the Star Wars universe. And we're going to start off with something that I've absolutely loved reading, which is the brand new Star Wars Rise of Kylo Ren series. This is just finished up, and unfortunately it's taken me a couple of weeks to get everything together to do this bit for you. However, I'm really looking forward to going through the comic with you, talking about my thoughts in general, and what other links to the Star Wars universe. So this comic is written by Charles Soule, who's done, of course, he's done Vader, he's done other bits and pieces as well. He's done bits for the main Star Wars issue, he's done Star Wars Ascendant, I think, for that as well. And of course, he's doing some of the upcoming books for the Project Luminous, or as we now know, the High Republic era. And the art is done by Will Slaney, who has done a few other bits and pieces for this as well. He's done the Galaxy's Edge comics, as far as I'm aware, and he's also done the art for Star Wars Allegiance. So, Star Wars, The Rise of Kylo Ren. I'm going to take you through the whole lot. I really can't wait to share you with my thoughts on this one. Of course, the strapline for this one was with Ben Solo's Fall to the Dark Side. The Force will come, The Rise of Kylo Ren. And we're going to go through pretty much every panel in this comic and take you through piece by piece, and I can't wait to do so. Okay, so let's crack straight into it then, shall we? First panel, of course, coming up here. So a long time ago, you've got I am called Ren. So this character literally popping up right from the start here. Who is he? We shall find out as we go forward. Again, he's so we can tell so far some civilized planet. I don't know I can't remember if we find out which planet's called. It doesn't really matter. So here's Van Cast, his younger brother here, Flint. Good to meet you both. We're looking for you for quite a while. Is a friend told you could touch the shadow, and the shadow is what the Knights of Ren refer to as the dark side of the Force, and that will be very important going forward. As we go forward, as you can see, unfortunately, there's some sort of massive battle here. The Knights of Ren just absolutely hacking up everything in their path, and it was sector security almost had us, and you guys swoop in and start shoving them back. Who in the blazes are you? He goes, you can see that we're called the Knights of Ren. It's very good. All you got to do is prove to them that you have to do one thing. So you don't follow him, Ren. You follow this thing. The Ren, the lightsaber he's then referring to. The Ren doesn't stop to worry about its burning or for what it's burning, or the right or wrong it's doing, the goals it might achieve. The Ren, it just is. It lives and consumes. It doesn't apologise, and it's nature for something else. So I think they're referring to the name of the lightsaber is the Ren. So the Knights of Ren being the knights of this particular lightsaber more than anything else. As we do go along, you do find him referring to that as an actual lightsaber. Apparently saying he can that he can do all the tricks as well. So you bathe yourself in the shadow. This fight preserves him, its tools, it sends you, it eats what sends you, all you're going forward, all you need is a death. So a death is going to kill more than I can count, that's why these fools want me dead. You came for me, right? So no, he wants a good death. And he said, my brother, so of course he just literally kills him cold blood right there. He goes, there, done, get the hell out of him. Oh, Finn, you've got the attitude, and that I respect. But you can't touch the shadow, which is a shame because, so if you had the dark side of the Force, he's going to offer to join him. However, no. So now, let's go find something to burn. So of course the Knights of Ren want to go and just trash the galaxy effectively. This then skips forward, of course, to the Jedi Temple of Luke Skywalker, where you have Ben Solo standing in the aftermath of what's happened to Luke's temple, and we will come back to this later. It's a very important part here. At this particular point, you see the Verity landing. This ship is a concoction of a T-65, a BLTB Y-Wing, and other bits and pieces cobbled together as well. So you've got these three Jedi here. We'll come to know them as Hennix, Ty, and Vo going forward. So Hennix on the left, Ty in the middle, and Vo on the right-hand side there. So now we have to get down there and help. Help who? Hennix can't say anything down there, not even Master Luke. At this point, we know Luke is just out cold and nowhere to be found. And the only thing they can sense is Ben. He goes, alright, that's it, you three were off planet. So what happened here? Where is Master Skywalker? So where is he, Ben? We can't sense his presence. Saying he tried to attack me, Ty, tried to kill me in my sleep, and now he's dead. So Master Skywalker never hurt any of us, and well, we know unfortunately that not to be true. So what if I don't think I could do it? I don't think I'm strong enough in the Force. He's stronger than all three of us put together. Skywalker's make it act as though we're equal, but you knew all along that I was this temple's prized student, and it's kind of true. We do know this as well. Of course, when it mattered the most, I was stronger than Luke Skywalker. Again, here you're trying just to bring him down, going, you you can't be true. There must be something else. Just talk to him. Try and bring him down. We'll find this and go along. Ty tries to reason with him. Vo is quick to anger, and Hennix just wants him dead. It's the three very different archetypes when you're looking at the Jedi there. So I told you really what happened here. This place is a lie, and now it's all over. So I'm leaving. You should too. He's just a warning. He doesn't really want to kill them, which it kind of then brings into the conflict of the Jedi and the conflict of Ben as well. He knows the path he wants to go down, but he's not entirely sure just yet. And then until this point, there goes, none of you are Jedi, because, as I said, Ty wants to talk him down, but Vo and Hennix just no forgiveness, straight up, no, we've got to defending it. Yeah, we're not Jedi, you're quick to anger. So you know what? You're afraid, and they're fearful of Ben and what he can do. And they are giving into the fear and the dark side there themselves, especially you, Vo, you should be. Just get out of my way, I won't be responsible for what happens to you if you force me to fight you. So don't worry, Solo, I'll take all responsibility. It's just not smart move, of course, because then Ben just goes and stops in midair, as we've seen him do in the films. He goes, on the house, I told you, I am much stronger in the Force. And he just is. He's not having any of it at this particular point. And he wants to be able to get rid of them, so he literally just goes to force push them all out the way. And here, of course, he manages to spear Hennix with a piece of debris from one of the burning huts. And it allows him just to walk away from here. He doesn't really want to kill them at this particular point, and it's a point that you'll unfortunately see later on does not stick. So here, Hennix, let me heal your pain. Take away so you can feel nothing. So I feel quite a bit tired, but leave off. You haven't been delicate a day in your life. Just go get me to the Verity. The Verity, of course, their ship, and of course you see here Ben going back to the Grimtash, which is his own ship. By the time you get on board here, you must Solo, pleased to see you. We're requiring your ship on police report. It's complete a full tune-up. There's also noticing the Raj Temple Fire droids being droids. All we know is the droid's called GG something. We don't know anything beyond that. Of course, at this point, there's just thing Ben is just running. He wants to get out of here. He wants to get away from it all. And this is true to a certain extent. And of course, Vo at this point goes, no, we need to chase him, we need to hunt him down, which isn't the way of the Jedi, but this is a Jedi who's just lost everything. And she's, really not acting, she's not got not much self-control, and you will see that as we go forward. And of course, they're coming up here to try and catch Ben, but of course he's managed to turn around. His, as you said, Ben's father's one of the greatest pilots in the galaxy, and his uncle blew up a Death Star, so you cannot evade him, which is true. Ben here manages to shoot them quite accurately and takes out their engine, takes out the hyperdrive. Of course, Gigi's saying, I'm not entered the destination, can I calculate one for you? Perhaps it's time to visit home, because of course he hasn't been home in quite a while. He's been training with Master Luke and hasn't gone back to see his mum or his dad at any point in all this. So of course this comment then brings up a lovely image of Leia and goes, had the route Hosnian Prime calculated, shall I enter it? At this point we get our first appearance of this black thought bubble here, which of course is a voice inside Ben Solo's head saying, it happened, did it not? We thought it both might. Skywalker feared your strength. He was always small. And of course this is the thing we know from The Force Awakens, and of course from The Last Jedi. It's that scene between Ben and Luke where Ben goes down a different path because Luke didn't know how to stop him and had a moment of weakness, a weakness that he readily admits he should have been able to stop, but he didn't, and he caught himself, but it was too little too late by that point. Again, you have him going, why did you do it? Luke, he's mad at Luke. He doesn't know what to do. He is just pissed at this particular point. Before we see a massive black cloud and red appearing above the temple itself with a humongous crash of lightning. So, was this Ben's doing? Was this not? You're going to find out later on. He sees Luke and he realizes a mistake. He wants to try and take it out. And he's of course saying, I didn't want this. And yet you did not choose it, Ben. The Jedi did, Skywalker. He knows he's being manipulated by someone. We know it to be Snoke, but we also know it to be someone else, and we will get to that later because it is a very interesting point that comes up. So of course he talks to Gigi, say no, he's not going to Hosnian Prime, he's going back to somewhere he's been to before, and it's very interesting to find out where. So of course you then cut back to the Verity where you have Ty and Vo talking, saying he must take out the engines one shot, times us off, we've been hot vapor right now. He doesn't want to kill them just yet. Anyway, you then have him say, well, we can track him, maybe track him through the Force. Of course, Hennix comes and goes, well, just because he's Jedi doesn't mean we always have to use the Force. So we have to track him through a temple droid, which he has aboard the Grimtash. And should be able to call his mother, tell him what's happening. So tell him exactly what. Hey, Sans Organa, Hennix here. Your brother supposedly tried to kill your son, but your son killed him instead, and now we're off to hunt him down. Sure. Again, they probably should have said something. They probably should have alerted the High Republic, well, sort of the New Republic in some way, but of course they didn't. So they need to see this through and learn the truth before we involve anyone else. And of course, they go, right, we're going to take him down by ourselves. They feel it's their responsibility. Again, the downfall and the hubris of the Jedi there, believing they are above everything and everyone. There's something that's pointed out by Ben and by Snoke, and even pointed out by Luke as well, of course, in The Last Jedi, which is something we'll get to later. So you have the Grimtash arriving somewhere. This location isn't specified, but of course when you arrive, you finally see Snoke in a very weird kind of green and goldy kind of garb there. It's not the gold we're used to from The Force Awakens and from The Last Jedi. Of course, Snoke here saying, my boy, I'm so pleased you came to me, gives him a big old embrace. Snoke, look what Master Luke did to you. Which does tell that Luke and Snoke have faced off before, but what happened, we don't know, and we may not know for some time. It depends on what content they want to put out, but I really hope we have this story told. So never mind that, my young Ben, let's consider what he needed to you. So it doesn't matter, he killed him. And he goes, so, do you think so? Luke Skywalker will not die easily whenever or however it happens. Of course, Ben's fighting this, says nothing's easy, of course. And about that, saying, he's been thinking about what he wants to do next, which of course is go and find the Knights of Ren. So apparently he's come across them before, which is something we're about to get to. This was the end of the first comic, and we're going to move on to the second one. Opening up still back on this planet, wherever it is, saying, do you like this place? And says, it's interesting, Snoke. Again, this is a planet of immense nature, but also of death, of beauty and death. Combined there, and he's saying Snoke is very fond of it. The people who built were trying to hold back the dark, but that was the entire point, to create an oasis of light here in the great shadow. Shadow, of course, then referencing the dark side of the Force. So you can see how well it worked. You see what denying the nature of things brought them. But you're asking me the Knights of Ren. So again, he's just going back to kind of what Ben wants to do. So something I think I could learn from them. He said, yes, perhaps Knights will be a good stop on your journey. There is only so much I can teach you. At this point, he's trying to push the seeds for Ben to kind of go down this darker path. So at least you no longer need to deny yourself in the way Luke Skywalker required. Or but should I say Ben Solo Jedi to be? The Knights of Ren might not be interested in him. Again, Ben saying, I hate that name. Oh, why? You named after two legends. Exactly. It's Snoke. Obi-Wan Kenobi, big famous Jedi, everyone thinks I'm supposed to be him, but I never met him. And, and Solo, did you know that's not even his real name? He's a lie. Everything's a lie. So Ben is just angry. It's that fear, anger, hate, suffering, that dark side of the Force here. Interesting little tidbit here. Says, a transmission incoming from General Hux Master. So I see, tell Brindle, whatever it is, he'll have to wait. He's in the midst of an important conversation. Little droid says acknowledged. And he goes, who did the droid mean? Who's General Hux? Now, this is not the same General Hux we have in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Brendel Hux is actually his father. If you've ever read the Aftermath books, you'll know the reference there to that one. It's interesting to see how fledgling the First Order are at this particular point. Ben, of course, only just turned to the dark side, or turning to the dark side, should I say. And the First Order are not as fully established as they once were. So this is them building up the New Republic is in their prime, as it were, but at the same time, of course, they're failing by this point. Again, if you read the Aftermath books, you'll know, the Bloodline books at this point, again, you'll know exactly what I'm referencing there, with the fact that the First Order already begun. So, going back to the comic at this point, I may not be the most social being in the galaxy, but you're not my only friend, Ben. In which case, though, let's speak of no more lies. What is this truth, my friend? What is your true name? The Knights want you to take if they let you join them. They're saying it's the way of the dark side. We'll embrace it fully. We become our truest self. And of course, every Sith is given a new name, and again, even here, you have Snoke representing that, saying, "I was not born Snoke, I became Snoke." We know this now not to be true. He was created by Palpatine. The interesting point here, of course, he's saying, "I was not born Snoke, I became Snoke." So no, he was born Palpatine. The Force Spirit was created as Palpatine. The puppet was created as Snoke, but Palpatine's the one pulling the strings, of course. So both true and not true at the same time. He's kind of giving away nothing to Ben there, saying, "Who will you become?" And he can see in his mind, he can see the name Kylo. He knows what he wants. He said, "No, it's just thinking of a child." And he said, "That's why it's correct though, because children's thoughts are pure. They don't practice self-deception. They are who they are. And when you call yourself by that new name, you saw your truth. It represents what you want to do on a deep level. Part of yourself that you want to cut away. So he wants to deal away everything that isn't Kylo, and eventually you will get there." That's what he's saying there. The Knights of Ren could be your first step on that path. They always seek power for people to join their ranks. We want the price of admission is steep. And he's saying, "I don't care, he'll pay it." The problem is he's saying, "Yeah, you'll either join them or you will die. That is it. There is no other option." And we will find out that to be true as well in a very interesting way. So he's trying to find out where the Knights of Ren could be, and he has had a thought. So you're not supposed to find them. You're not supposed to know where they are. You have to find them. That's part of the trial of becoming a Knight of Ren. So we cut to years earlier, and you have a similar ship to the Verity with Luke and Lor San Tekka. So this is a very interesting connection, of course, for The Force Awakens, where you have the opening scene where he's saying, "Look what's happened to you. He becomes so old," and of course Lor San Tekka says, "So much worse has happened to you," because of course he knew him when he was a child. So we're going to have to find this Jedi temple here, this old place where maybe you can find some holocrons, maybe you can find something useful to help his academy. And of course, even here at this particular point, you could see Snoke, air quotes, Palpatine, of course, his influence here already, saying, "He's all well, my friend. He sensed disquiet in you." So we don't know where this initial contact has happened, but we can see already the seeds being planted even much earlier than maybe we thought. So they're having a conversation here, Snoke, so I'm just fine. Off on another mission with Master Skywalker to find Jedi artifacts. Lor San Tekka's here too. He thinks he found something on the edge of the Outer Rim, almost in the unknown regions, which of course is where the First Order will start up. Of course, he's saying it's probably High Republic era. It was a time of greatly expanded Jedi activity throughout the galaxy, and that is something that has already been referenced in the new upcoming High Republic books and comics, of course, with the Outpost that we will get to then. They're off to a planet called Elforna, all this way to find some old junk Master Luke will lock away in his temple and never use. So the Jedi have always been good at that. They consider themselves master of the Force in every sense. As a young Master, your Master thinks of you as a child. Someday he'll realise your true capabilities. Again, Snoke planting the seeds of, you can't trust Luke, he doesn't believe in you, I believe in you, I am the way forward. And of course, Luke is saying, "I'm glad you came along, Ben." He wants to include him. He doesn't think he's doing wrong. He doesn't know I may not even know at this point that Snoke's even made contact. So at this point, you get to Elforna. Elforna, is this planet out in the Outer Rim that, of course, houses some sort of old Jedi temple. As you can see, it's very similar to Jeddah from Rogue One, with those statues of the Jedi with the lightsabers, and you have the Jedi Order symbol on the locked door there. Seems very impressive. Master Luke's just having to be careful and kind of try not to break anything. So this isn't a outpost; it's a treasure trove. The Jedi of all time must have used this as a storage site. I mean, unable to return together these items. This is truly fortunate, of course. Saying Lor San Tekka, they're saying that, for Luke and for the new Jedi, they can have all this shiny stuff to help them. Now, the interesting point here in the next panel, of course, you see Luke referencing Jocasta News Cache, which is something that is referenced to a Vader comic as well. It's amazing everything you can learn here. However, if you go to the panel above on the left-hand side, you can actually see a Sith holocron as well. So there isn't just Jedi artifacts here, there are Sith artifacts as well. So this is something that the Jedi did collect when they thought the Sith were long gone from the galaxy, is to be able to learn from both sides of the Force, but keep it locked away so it couldn't harm anyone else. Of course, they wanted to know as much as they could. So his Master... wonderful Master truly is, and of course, wait till you sense that it feels cold. We know that to be the harbinger of the dark side of the Forces when everything starts to feel coarse. And of course, you have Ren here coming up and saying, "Well, hello there. Not Kenobi, but it'll still do, and I'll take it." And they have the Knights of Ren, of course, staying around here. Everything here is ours now. We're going to take it, but how we take it is up to you, your cool friends. And of course, Luke going, you're so wrong. You're just so wrong. At this point, Luke is at the height of his power, and he knows that he can take on pretty much anyone. And which I'm looking forward to talking to you about this next few panels as we go along. So there's a Jedi outpost. Everything it belongs to the Jedi Order, which at the moment means me, for he is the last Jedi, but not for long. So of course, again, referencing the Last Jedi there, which is kind of a little cool. And if I had no claim to these things, I wouldn't let you take them, because like I sense the dark side in all of you. You will leave here with nothing but your lives. Okay, let's take what we came for, and let's see. Of course, Ben's saying this is Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. He's a legend. He goes, yeah, well, I am Ren. These are the Knights of Ren, and we're legendary. And of course, with the lightsaber there, which looks really cool. I love that panel. And of course, Law, get back, set the fight, protect Ben. And of course, Ben's going, well, Master Luke, what about you? There are 7 of them. Luke going, oh, I'll just be fine. And this is what I've always wanted to see, is Luke just going ham and unleashing his true potential. The very last of the Jedi, my very first, almost ashamed to see you go. And then again, I expect we have some ideological differences. And then that bigger galaxy. And Luke's saying, can we just skip to the part where you're out here running here crying? And of course, Knights, you are released there. And you have Luke then at this particular point just going, you know what? No. I am but one man. I am not alone. The Force is my ally, and it is powerful. And you are clumsy and untrained. Use the dark side like a hammer, but the light side is a blade. And Luke is just not taking a single thing here. He's deflecting blasters left, right, and centre, and just knocking everyone out cold and destroying all their weapons. And Gazku saying, so my, you have Ben here with his own lightsaber, with Lord just going magnificent because he's not needed. Of course, saying, I had enough yet. Ain't over yet. We still got the numbers, and Luke just going, nope. You sure about that? And just destroying their weapons. Of course, at this particular point, you have Ren going, nope. I have a little trick up my sleeve, something you may not know before, and you will now need to know. I just flipped a kill switch. This blade leaves my hand, it blows and takes me, the kid, the old explorer friend, and this fancy garbage all with it. Now what, Jedi man? Okay, Luke's saying, it seems up to you, but I wouldn't assume that it'll go the way you expect. And Ren going, okay, you know what? I can see that. You are pretty strong. My threat's kind of a little weak here. Just going to take it and give you this one. But he'll be back. He knows you're back. But one more thing. You said you could sense the shadow in all of us. That's right. We've all got it. But you know your apprentice does too, right? Powerful. I can feel it. Better be careful, Jedi man. And of course, he's just leaving him here with a warning. I say, hey kid, yours life isn't life for you. You do know there are other paths, right? And he just leaves him with the helmet saying, you know, just come look us up at some point. Where we now see cut to now, of course, where Ben arrives on the planet and puts the helmet on that he saw there all those years ago. And Ren replied and said, hey kid, I want to hear from you again. So I need someone to go. Snoke, maybe you would. Snoke, yeah, okay, come to Varnak in the Mid-Rim. We'll be there for a bit. This is, of course, was the first test. He has to find them, then he can see if he can join. It's not straight away. Of course, then, we're at the end of this particular issue where you have Ty, Hennex, and Vo rocking up going, nope, no left to run, we're going to stop you. You then cut to Varnak in the Mid-Rim for the start of issue number 3 here. Now it's very important to note that what we're about to do is jump between the past and the present here. And I'll take you through that as best I can as we go through this. So you check it out, What's Up Virkul. Again, the only one they reference by name here. I don't know the Knights of Ren's names off by heart, but this is the only one that's referenced in the comic. I do have the guide for the Rise of Skywalker, so I do know all the names. I just don't remember off my heart yet because I haven't memorised them. Of course, at this point you see Ben Solo rocking up and I wonder if you would find us. He returns the helmet. He's obviously got an identical helmet already. And saying, you look like you've been chewed up and spat out. He's saying you look like an absolute ringer. But I was saying an absolute joke there, so it's fine. So I want to travel with you to learn. I can be useful. I'm strong in. So yeah. He's strong on the dark side. Sounds like a hell of a story. It's all the guys, and I would love to hear it. But you want to tell us who you killed, Mr. Ben Solo? He goes, all right, because you need a death. You need to have a death to join the Knights of Ren, but it has to be a good death, as we already know. So as I said, now we're going to cut back to the past, which is on Elfrona in the past. And he's going to go through now this particular fight, saying it was on a planet where we first met, where you fought Skywalker. So I went back there to see if I could find a path to you and the other knights, but I was followed somehow by 3 Jedi students of Luke Skywalker. So going, wait, aren't you one of Skywalker's students at that temple he built? Not anymore, and the temple's gone, ruined, burned. I destroyed it. And of course now he's about to tell them how this happened. To go, hold on there. You're going to tell me about a death? Fine, but how I know it was a good death? Tell me about these people. Who are they? What they were to you? So now we're going to find out who Hennix, Vo, and Ty actually were. So you cut down to the Jedi Temple on a much earlier scale here. You can see 7 or 8 Jedi here, or younglings, so I say Padawans, with R2. And of course, everything is how it should be. What happened to the other students, we don't know. We can only assume that Ben did kill them. So you're going to talk about Vo first. Vo had a hard time accepting her place in the way of all things. She's jealous. It's envy. That's what you have with Vo. That's her hubris. That's her flaw, shall we say, when it comes to the darker side of things. And of course, we all know all Jedi have their weaknesses, and this is Vo's. So of course, saying, why is Ben so much stronger? Works just as hard as he does. He goes, no, it isn't how he's stronger. It's the fact that the Force is a trickle, a stream, a river, a flood for anyone who can sense it. Think of yourself as a door. Why do you open the door? The more easily the Force will flow through you. And of course, some people start their door just a bit more open, but any door can open wisely. With a little bit of training, patience, knowledge, care, and attention, you can feel the Force and use the Force greater than others. But it's not about being stronger, it's just about learning to let it flow through you. Of course, as Ben, being who Ben is, it's just that door's a little bit more open to him. So through our entire time together, as students, Vo tried to measure up to me. And with lightsabers, meditation, any Jedi technique, because she tried to beat me because she couldn't. She tried to measure up to Ben because she was jealous of him. And kind of that's the whole problem. She couldn't be herself. She wants to be me or better than me, and that's her problem. Made her angry and ashamed. All things that don't make her a good Jedi. Hennix was different. He was funny, smart too. Vo thought the Force was a contest she could win. Hennix thought it was a puzzle he could solve. And of course, you have Luke here teaching about the holocrons, and him being to try and figure out the puzzle, try to open it. Of course, he does eventually. So, alright, you got the brains and the brawn. What was the third one? So, we've got the name already. Ty. Ty is the other one here. Ty is the one who was trying to connect to Ben on an emotional level. And again, here you see him talking, saying Ben Solo, exactly who you need to be. You need to be who you are, not kind of what you are. And you have Ty trying to connect to him on an emotional level, saying, I know you, Ben Solo, you're not as bad as you think you are. And I think at this point, Ben's sick and tired of people telling him they know him, or as Rey is as well, when you come to the Rise of Skywalker, is, you know, he's sick and tired of people saying they know him, saying, you know, they know who you are. Of course, Ben's saying, you sure about that? Don't be afraid of what other people will think, just be who you are, the rest will follow. So Ty was cryptic, saying, but I think I have a pretty good picture now. Let's get back to the fight. So of course now we're going to get back to the fight that has just taken place between Hennix, Vo, Ty, and of course Ben Solo. And he's saying, get out my head, Ty, because Ty is trying to connect to him on that emotional level, and he's just not having any of it. He's sick and tired, as I said, of people trying to connect to him on that level. He then is just trying to get away from them. He doesn't really want to fight them, doesn't really want to kill them, and that's something that does crop up later on. So you think of a murder of those, he lands off the top here, and Ben at this point is just pissed. You see that the speech bubble changes to red purely because at this point he's changed the dark side. They're using that's just connotate him going, you know what, anger, hate and suffering. And he just force pushes her off the edge there. And he goes, no, you know what, made a mistake. And tries to catch Vo using the Force. Hennix at this point has gone right up the other side, and he's just not having any of it. So you killed her, you monster, because he hasn't seen him to stop her from falling. He force throws his lightsaber at Ben. Ben deflects it back, as you're about to see. And he goes, you know, he can solve this. Vo falls, Ben tries to stop Vo, and at this point it's too late. The lightsaber goes back and just hacks straight into Hennix, and Hennix is now unfortunately gone. Vo lands on Ty, the Master Safer. So you're right, Vo, I did my best to slow you with the Force, but I'm not as... Since it's fine here, hear that scream, that was Hennix. Hennix is gone. Ben here's saying, get in the outpost. Not having any of it, doesn't matter anymore. He just force throws them and brings down the temple around them to make sure they cannot get out, and tries to kill them basically. Going, you know what, had enough here. He goes, what do you think, fellas? Saying, you know, nothing. He goes, I agree, it's a death, but not a good enough death. He goes, I killed him. I killed Hennix, a Jedi. He goes, yeah, but you didn't really want it. But so that's for you, and you're strong in the shadow, and that's not nothing. Let's spend some time and see, you know, just see what's what. But he's also saying, you know, when Knights of Ren, we have a reputation, let's get him changed. And this, of course, where you first see Ben in a darker garb. And something's kind of cool, which we'll get to in a second here, which is his lightsaber on the back, on the top of his left-hand shoulder, which, of course, then, when you watch The Rise of Skywalker and you see Rey pass the lightsaber to Ben, it's that same shoulder, it's that same motion. Maybe she puts the lightsaber in his holder there. But we don't know about that. We'll see as that comes to pass. Of course, at this point, you have them going through. So they saw into Ben's head. He doesn't really want to do this. He cut back there to that temple. Of course, they managed to get out. So I don't care about where Ben Solo's path takes him. Ty, he only cares about where it ends. I know Vo. I think he's lost. They see Hennix, and then they just know that he's gone at this particular point. This is the end of the third issue. Now moving our way on to the fourth and final issue, and surprisingly it's the Midra in the Mind Moon of Mimban. Now Mimban, of course, is a callback to Solo and the War on Mimban, where Solo meets Chewbacca, and it's kind of a really cool little connection between Ben and Han. So it's kind of, yeah, something that you may not really realise unless you've seen Solo and kind of put two and two together, of course. But it's saying we're here to try and find something. If you won't give us what we're looking for, one of the others will. We don't know what they're looking for, but Ren is here trying to torture him, goes, you know, threatening to kill him. Ben saying this could be another way, and this is the first time that we know of that Ben uses his new mind trick abilities. Kind of a variation on the Jedi mind trick, of course. And of course, Ben's here saying I have the artifact. It's 3 levels down in a sealed chamber to the southwest. The entrance is marked with a carving of a red snake. So using a variation of the Jedi mind trick Snoke told me about. It was the first time I've tried it, and I wasn't sure if it would work. So of course, that's Snoke telling him about a different way of using the Force. So it's kind of similar to how Palpatine twisted Anakin in Episode 3 with the tale of Darth Plagueis. Otherwise, you can see that Palpatine / Snoke has been trying to already corrupt Ben here and teaching him ways of the dark side here. And this thing, Ren just goes, you know what? No, let's have them out. Let's just see what we can do. And at this particular point, Ben is just not happy with this. He goes, you know, he thought he would release them. Yeah, releasing them is releasing them from their life. And Snoke was here going, you know, the Jedi believe their endless rules and codes of behaviour make them strong. In fact, they made them rigid, so they're easily more broken. The Knights of Ren do as they please, which lends them fluidity. Whatever they need to do to survive, to triumph, they will do. That's it. That's the dark side of the Force. Is no holds barred. Let's just get in there, hack them up, and get out there. We want what we want. We will take it. So that we can actually, there's such a something called the Mind Splinter. I have no idea what the Mind Splinter is, but it's interesting that they're trying to find it. I need to find a connection to that, I must admit. And of course, Ben is saying, just drop them all down, then we'll find the thing and get paid. So obviously they're for a bounty more than anything else. Someone's looking for that Mind Splinter. Don't know what it is, someone's after it. And of course, he's saying here, Ren, saying to him, don't tell me you're scared, kid. Get down there. Your Jedi training should be easy for you. I know, you're Ben Solo, and he's beginning to wonder if anything Snoke said you were. He's kind of beginning to doubt what Snoke has said. And he goes, you have Ty and Vo here, and Ren's saying, who the hell are they? He goes, they are the past. And it's very interesting as we're seeing his eyes start to turn that yellowish tinge to the dark side. He is just angry. So he goes down there to Vo, saying Vo is going to go down there to help the people, Ty is going to go after Ben. So, you know, Vo go after the Knights of Ren, and you have Ty go after Kylo. Well, Ben Solo's particular one, I should say, sorry. So, you know, Ren's now just going absolutely hack, going, you should have given what you wanted, and Vo stepping in here and go, you're Vo, right? Your buddy Ben told me about you, the Jedi wannabe. I fought actual Jedi before your master, in fact. Don't see you becoming much trouble. I said Master Luke told him that story. He said you went all home crying. Kicks in the face. Which I kind of like. And now we cut then back to the fight between Ben and Ty. And this is where I've split it up to be able to try and go between the fights a little easier, because at this particular point, imagine kind of Battle of Heroes, Duel of the Fates between two different fights at the same time. It's really, really awesome. But you have Ty here who's trying to convince Ben that he's saying, don't have to do this, Ben, you don't have to turn your back in the light. And Ben's saying, you just don't know me, stop telling me you know who you think I am. Of course, the fight cut back between the fight then with Vo saying, die girl, you know, cut back. Well, again, it's just going through these two fights. You know, Vo is just hacking or try to hack through the Knights of Ren, and of course Ben's trying to get through to Ty, saying, however deep you are here, I promise there's something deeper, it can get worse, you're acting like you don't have control, whereas every single step is your own choice. And Ben is just sick and tired of this saying, choice, I have no choice, and never did. Even my name is a choice. The dark side and the light side both claim me for my own the moment I was born. So do you know how that feels, to be consistently conflicted and being trying and torn between the two of them? And of course, you have Vo saying, you came here to destroy, to kill. I thought no one here could stop you. They thought you thought they were strong and they were weak, but she is strong, and she was trained by Luke Skywalker. So that hubris, that legend that Luke isn't happy with by the time he's the Last Jedi. Whereas Luke Skywalker or Snoke, none of them seem as a person, just a legacy, a set of expectations. And he's just pissed. Kylo's just going, everyone tells me they think they know who I am. Everyone's trying to tell me this is what I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm supposed to come, and he's just not having any of it. It's that conflicting emotion that we see perpetuated throughout the sequel trilogy. And by the time you get to The Rise of Skywalker, you finally see him become at peace at who he wants to be and who he is. And of course, at this point, he disarms him finally and goes, alright, yeah, don't have to kill me, but be the man I know you are, just be who you... And his neck is gone. Turns out it's Ren. Ren has got behind saying, you killed Ty, Snoke's completely wrong about you, you're fighting this every step of the way. So you think so, you don't want to live in the shadow. And Ben goes, true, I am the shadow. And launches into him. Ren going, tough talk, but you have maybe been in a fight before. The other guy really wants you dead. I mean, really wants you dead. My guess is, Skywalker didn't let you anywhere near a real fight. You're too precious, too special. And now you have the very first instance of Palpatine in this. So you will be who you will be, who you are, who you were always meant to be. Palpatine, finally, you can see him pulling the strings. That whole bit of every voice you ever heard inside your head is Palpatine using Snoke's voice here. Because you can then see, he sees inside the head Snoke, not Palpatine. So yes, my boy, yes, I'm not special, I'm no one. You can see this particular point, this is his crossing over point from the light to the dark. Leia can sense it. Everyone can sense it. That's good, but I mean, I can do anything I want. I've killed a lot of people who thought they were special. You'll just be another one. And Ben here, you see the lightning falling around and going, that's the thing. Everyone thinks I'm special. I don't. But that's a good thing. It means I can do anything I want. I should have realised what you were asking me to do much earlier, Ren. So you asked him for a good death. And you can see here that even Rey feels something's off. And you'll find, of course, why later on in the sequel trilogy. So you're so clear. And of course, back to Palpatine here. So yes, claim your birthright and strike him down. Now, Palpatine at this point is, again, trying to communicate through Snoke. So that kind of via another essence. So he doesn't realise who it is or what's happening just yet. But Palpatine, you can hear, still pulling the string. Palpatine knows exactly what he wants and who he wants and why he wants it. Palpatine is still pulling those strings. And of course, here you have Kylo going, here is your good death, and him just skewering Ren. Before he does that, after he does that, he then goes out, before invoking it to her lightsaber, Ben just takes and goes, Ben, you killed him, the master of the Knights of Ren. She's going, of course you did, I'm a murderer, remember? You're not a Jedi, Vo, you never will be, there's no one left to train you. And of course Ren ignites on that something here, going, why do you even want to live? Just skewing. At this point, he is truly lost. The Knights of Ren bow to him, and you now know he has taken his place in the galaxy. Kylo now what Ben's still, but not Kylo yet, but you see him turning. You see him with his own crystal, and now you see the only existence of Ben with the full dark side eyes here, that yellow-red hue, that piercing dark side gaze, as you see him corrupt his own kyber crystal. Now, because it's not anyone else's, he has to pour all his dark side in his own, and it splits him down the middle. And you see images, you see Luke, Han, Chewie, Lando, Ty, Leia, as he just pours his hate, his anger, his pain, his suffering into his kyber crystal, that he then, it splits in two, that split personality, that split between the light and the dark there. as he then puts it into his lightsaber, fires it up. As you see now, you just can see why it crackles, why there's too much energy involved there. And you can see him then fix it, put the crossguard in place, and goes, what is your name? And you see him finally fire up his lightsaber, that crossguard lightsaber we know to come and love in the sequel trilogy. And that is the ending of these 4 issues. Now, this is a comic I thoroughly enjoyed from start to finish, these 4 issues, and that's why I waited again to have all 4 before I did this video. This video has been a long time coming, I want to do more of these in the future. The connections there are very interesting between Palpatine, Snoke, and Ben. That layer, that additional layer that Ben doesn't know about, that he can't sense because, well, no one knows Palpatine's still alive. This failed clone, this created clone of this Snoke person that apparently Luke has faced. So Luke has faced Palpatine again, without knowing it, because he's now faced Snoke. Interestingly enough, though, of course, all the little references to other parts of Star Wars universe there, of course, going with the Sith holocron, with Palpatine, with Snoke, with Luke, with Luke's Jedi Temple. Now, we don't know about anyone else in the Academy. We assume that Ben did go and kill them all, or at least in that explosion did take them out. And now it's proved that Palpatine did what Yoda did in The Last Jedi, which is be able to summon lightning corporally to take out a building. Now, of course, Yoda did it to destroy the temple, to destroy the tree with all the Jedi books, and Palpatine did it to destroy the Jedi Temple, to prove to them, to push to Ben, to show him the dark side is the way he wants to go down. He is trying to corrupt him at every point here, and what it shows now, though, is the pure pain and suffering, and how Ben became Kylo, how Ben, when I'm sick and tired of everyone telling me they know who I am and what I am, I know what I want to be, I will be who I want to be. It is that very much that definition, that human definition of wanting to belong, but wanting to be your own. For me, this really just enhances the character of Kylo. This really enhances his background, where he's from. It also helps with that conflict as well between the light and the dark. The fact that the light side and the dark side both claimed him. You know this when you hear him in Episode 7 talking to the helmet of Vader, saying, I feel it again, the pull of the light. The light and the dark are trying to fight tooth and nail both sides to claim him for his own. He's sick of that. He just wants to be himself, and that for the moment is anger, it's hate, it's pain, it's suffering, it's his uncle trying to kill him, it's his friends telling him they think they know who he is, it's Snoke trying to pull at his strings, it's anything and everything, every pulling emotion that he has, and then leaves him in such a place of just emptiness. And eventually he goes, he's had enough, he just wants to take over the galaxy, take over something. He just wants to be who he wants to be. I'm really interested to see where they take the story from here, whether they do a sequel series to this, showing him how he came to the First Order, how he came to take over the First Order, what happened with Snoke, does Snoke gift him the First Order. There's plenty of things that we're yet to see, but this is interesting to see the ending of, and what he thinks is the end of the Jedi. Him taking out Luke. I don't know how he discovers Luke's alive, we don't know yet, of course. But it's interesting to see. He thinks he's ended the Jedi at this point. Tai, Vo, and Hennix are gone. The Knights of Ren are leaderless until he steps in. Now he's taken over them. He now thinks he's found his ultimate place in the galaxy. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing where they go with this. I thought it was a very well written comic. I like the connection between Palp and Kylo via Snoke, and I'm interested to see what they do in the future. But all I have to say is thank you so much for watching or for listening to this. I've tried to talk it through to a point where if you are listening to the audio that I've described it well enough, I hope. If you haven't read this comic, I do suggest you go and buy the issues if you can get your hands on them. This comic was one that was printed in high numbers as well. The first issue was on a 4th printing, the second issue was on a 3rd printing, the third issue was on at least a 2nd, if not a 3rd printing, before the global pandemic took over. I know this comic is going to be one of the most successful. It's very rare that these days that Star Wars comics especially get this many prints. There's not many that do get multiple printings. The very highest selling comic of the last 10 years was of the 2010s, I think, was so the last 10 years was Star Wars issue number 1, 2015, which they sold, I think it was over 1 million issues and was on a 5th printing. This came to very close to that. And I'm very interested to see what they do with the character going forward. So it's a very popular one. And if you haven't got it, I do recommend you go and get it. So all remains to me to say is thank you so much for watching or listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Once the Force of Star Wars Podcast, at the Force Podcast. You can find the audio and video for this later on our YouTube and Facebook pages. And of course, you can find the audio versions on our Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and iTunes. And so until next time, we've been One with the Force. May the Force and others be with you. Good night.